History repeats itself. Written by XX that underscore harem underscore writer XX on Archive of Our Own. Read and brought to you by me. A Harry Potter fanfiction featuring the ships Draco Malfoy and Harry Potter, Regulus Black and James Potter, and Scorpius Malfoy and Albus Severus Potter. Chapter 2. The Rest of the Summer, Part 1. 1974. James woke up in the morning, sweating. All he could think about last night was Sirius finding out about his small crush on Regulus and killing him. But there was no way Sirius would find out, right? I mean, if he didn't find out, then that would be best. James would just have to hide his true feelings from showing, well, at least around his best friend. If he did that and just kept going the way he was, his friend would never suspect a thing. He would never find out that James liked Regulus and wouldn't be killed by his best friend. James nodded at his own thoughts before giving a soft sigh and sitting up. It was rather bright out, meaning that it had to be around at least 10 a.m. He reached over for his glasses and put them on. 1995. His hand wriggled around on the nightstand as he finally grabbed them and put them on. There. Better. Now Harry could actually see what he was doing. Harry looked up at the smashed but still working clock in his cousin's old room and nodded. 1 hour. 1 hour, and Harry wouldn't have to see the Dursleys for at least another whole year. Fantastic! Harry slowly sat up and dressed into the outfit he left, not packed, in his suitcase before standing. The Dursleys knew that he was getting picked up today, so he decided to leave him alone that morning, which Harry was very glad about. He couldn't wait to spend the last 2 weeks of summer with his best friends again. At the thought of his best friends, the reminders of last night dawned on him. What if they found out Harry was crushing, well, he thinks he's crushing, on Draco fucking Malfoy? Oh, Ron would kill him. Hermione might understand, but Ron would kill him. Shit! They didn't even know he liked men! 2021. Albus hadn't come out to anyone yet. No one knew that he liked men. Albus, unlike others he knew, was gay. He wasn't bisexual. He definitely wasn't straight. Albus had only ever been attracted to men. But now he actually properly liked someone, and it was their family's enemy's son. Great. Thank God he was to see his cousins for the day. He wouldn't be able to stand his main family after all the thoughts yesterday and his worries on what if they found out. Albus looked over to the phone on his bedside table to see the time, only to see that it was already 10:30. Albus jumped out of bed and ran to his shower, getting a quick shower before dressing into casual clothes and making his way down the stairs. 1974. Oh, you're finally awake. Mr. Potter chuckled, and James just flushed from embarrassment. Breakfast's in the kitchen, he says, and James heads to the kitchen, only to be stopped. Wait. Be careful with your friends today, James. I know you're off to see them, but usually you meet on magical grounds owned by one of them. This time you're meeting in a valley for a picnic. Careful with your magic usage. I don't want another call from the ministry about you using underage magic again. He sighs, and James nods. Promise. I'll only use magic if one of us is in danger. Pops. Now, I gotta go and eat, and then head to the portkey spot. Love you, Dad, James says as he heads to the kitchen, and Mr. Potter chuckles. Love you, son, he calls back as he goes back to sipping his coffee and reading his paper. James makes his way to the kitchen to scarf down his breakfast, before waving to his father and heading out the door. As he opens the door, he's greeted by none other than 1995. Mrs. Weasley? What are you doing here? Harry asks, the Dursleys watching him from the kitchen, too scared to get any closer. I'm here to pick you up, Harry dear. Arthur had a problem with work and got roped in today, so I had to come and grab you. Do you have your things, dear? She asked sweetly. and Harry nods. That's good. Okay then, dear. Please take your things to the new car and get inside. Then we'll head straight to the burrow, she says with a sweet smile, and Harry nods as he takes his things to the new car. Mrs. Weasley looks the Muggles up and down. She then turns her nose up and closes the door behind her as she heads to the car and gets inside with Harry. She then smiles at him. How has the first half of your summer been, Harry dear? She asks, and Harry sighs. It's been okay. Could have been worse, I guess. But I'm psyched for the next part of my summer. I'm going back, he says with a smile, and Miss Weasley nods. She then presses the invisibility button on the car, and off they go, straight to the skies, making their way to the burrow. It's not too long before they arrive, and Harry smiles once he steps out of the car, thinking to himself, it's good to be back here. Molly and Harry then head to the door, knocking as the door opens for them. 2021. Harry smiles as he greets the face of Ron on the other side. Hey Ronald, make sure to thank your mother for offering to take care of the kids for the day. Harry chuckles, and Ron nods as he steps outside. You know she already knows just how grateful you are, and they're also her grandchildren too. She's happy to let us adults have the day away to ourselves, he says with a chuckle, and Harry nods. James rolls his eyes, but heads inside, and Lily follows, skipping behind him. Albus looks to his dad, who is still chatting to his uncle, and sighs as he heads inside too. When inside, he is greeted to Hermione kissing Hugo on the head. Ahem. You two? Be good for Grandma Molly, she says, and the two nod and wave her off as she leaves. The door then closes, and Albus sighs. He then heads to sit down and pulls out his phone, only to see that it still doesn't work on the Burrow's grounds. Well, that's plan A out the window for today. James's frown turns into a smirk as he walks into the kitchen. Hey, Grandma? James asks, and Molly smiles at him. Yes, dear, she asks. Teddy wants to hang out today. Is that okay? He asks, and Molly chuckles. She then taps the tracking clock with James's name on it before nodding. Yes, go ahead, but I want you back by 7 for dinner, she says, and James nods. Thanks, Gran, he yells as he grabs the flu powder and disappears to Teddy's apartment. Albus sighs. Again, great. Plan 2 is left. Albus sighs as he stands up, heading out back and into the grounds of the Burrow. 1974. James chuckles as him and Lily make their way to the portkey. Yeah, those two. Together. James busts out laughing at the gossip Lily had told him. Why, that's crazy, Lils. It's just as crazy as people thinking that we're together, he says with a chuckle, and Lily nods and giggles. Although, to be fair, many people think that we are together, Jamie. I mean, for a start, we have pet names for each other, we're a boy and a girl friendship, and we're always around each other, Lily says, and James laughs. Yeah, but I don't see how they picture us together, Lils. We're not even each other's type, he says with a chuckle, and Lily joins in. Oh, don't I know that already, Jamie, she says with a wink, and James pauses. Huh? Lil? What? What do you mean by that? He asks, very confused. Oh, don't worry, Jamie. You'll figure it out soon enough, Lily says, and James scratches his head. He'll figure what out soon enough? Remus asks as he joins them. Lily smiles. Who his type is? She says with a smile, and Remus chuckles. Oh, I see. And I agree. I'm sure he will figure it out soon, although preferably not when. Remus pauses as he sees Sirius in the distance. Wood by the portkey. The group smile and head over. Hey, Padfoot, Remus says as he heads over to Sirius with a smile. Hey, Mooney. Wormtail said he couldn't make it today. He got a summer job or something? Boring if you ask me, Sirius says, and Lily rolls her eyes. Not all of us are born from riches, Padfoot, she says as they all reach towards the portkey. But you're not born from riches, and yet you don't have a summer job, Medusa. he says and sticks his tongue out at her as she chuckles. That's because I don't need one. My parents are muggle rich and pay for my supplies. Now, are we going or what? She asks and Sirius nods. Yep, on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 1995, 3. Harry says as he then hears the first footsteps rumbling down the stairs. Harry, you hear? Mum said it was going to take longer, he says and high-fives him. Harry chuckles. Well, I'm here now. And I am till we go to Hogwarts, he says with a chuckle, and Ron smiles and nods. Next to Ginny, who comes down the stairs, gives Harry a small shy wave and a smile before heading to the kitchen. And finally, it's Hermione who comes running down before enveloping Harry in a big hug. Oh, Harry, I'm so glad to see you. How was your summer? Was it all right? Hermione asks, and Harry nods. It was all right, Hermione. And I'm here now, so maybe you can let go? He asks. Hermione chuckles and nods before pulling away. The day is then spent with his 2 best friends. But still, what's been on his mind all summer still plagues at him. So by the time dinner comes, Harry is sat on the couch, lost in thought, while the others set the table, and Fred and George notice and come over to Harry. Harry, what's up? They ask. We can tell something's on your mind. The family have put it up to the summer so far, but that's not it. What's going on? George asks. 2021. Oh, Uncle George? Albus asks, a little confused. George sits down on the tree trunk next to Albus and chuckles. What's going on, scamp? You have that look on your face, George says, and Albus raises his eyebrow. What look? He asks, a little confused. The look of someone I know had when he was your age, scamp. The look of someone who's keeping a secret out of fear, he says, and Albus looks at him, shocked to the core. How did he know? So, what's up? I promise by fun Uncle Law that I won't say a word or make fun of you. So, what's up? I mean, you don't have to tell me. I can guess instead, George says, and Albus thinks for a moment. I mean, he was dead on with his last statement, but that could have just been a complete guess. Maybe I should let him guess. Albus nods. Okay then, Uncle George. Have a guess, Albus replies, and George chuckles. Okay then, scamp. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you have the look of someone who's crushing on someone he thinks he shouldn't like, because that someone is supposed to be their enemy through generations and generations. So, he doesn't know what to do with the feelings he has. He has no one to talk to because he's afraid of what others might think. But that shouldn't matter because we're living in a new world now, and just because your past generations hated each other doesn't mean that you should. Anything wrong there? George asks Albus, who stares at him, his mouth agape. What the actual fuck? How did he know all of that to the exact point? End of chapter 2. I hope you enjoyed.